Thanks for staying with us. I think we have a caller on this. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, my name is Craig. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay, increase the volume a bit. I can't hear you, Craig. Go ahead, please.
Okay, my name is Craig. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, and now, as regards to this issue, there's something I want to really touch about that most people haven't really said. It's actually what is called child sexualization. In the way that most parents, the way they dress up their little ones in appearance of an adult. And sometimes they do not know how effective this can play on an adult male. So you go to a parent's house, you see a child of about 4 years being dressed up like an adult with all the makeup, with all the latches, with all the mini skirts and everything or such like that. So the parent, that might just feel normal to her. But psychologically, as a man, if you don't have that maybe self-consciousness and that self-control, you might be looking at that child as an appearance of an adult, and who knows what can play in such a man's mind to move on to the next level of establishing what his thoughts have created for him. That's my contribution.
Thank you, Craig.
Please, let's just address
it. I know you need to calm down. The piece is still here. Let us hear where he's coming from. So we are part of the advocates of saying, don't ever judge a person by what they're wearing. And we're all on the same page on that. What he's saying, pedophiles see these children differently. So they are sick. So even if you wear, so what I'm hearing him saying is that if a child wears something that a pedophile sees, maybe that could trigger them.
No, you don't say they are pedophiles. Right? He said, no, let me quote him well. No. Let me quote what he said. That some parents dress their children like adults with makeup and adult kind of dressing. And we don't know how men are looking at those children and seeing them as adults and reacting to them. Such men are pedophiles. So that's what I want him to understand. Craig, you need to understand that if a man sees a young child and is attracted, that man is sick. And any such men watching us, it is a sickness, brother. Go and get treated.
So let me add something to that. So those other men who, defile the babies on diaper, please, how sexy are these babies looking?
Thank you.
They defile little ones, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months old on diaper. So it's not about the child, it's about the person, and that sickness.
No, and for me,
the
other part is that every time we talk about defilement, rape, and things like that, we bring up the conversation about the dressing of a minor. That is a different topic. Sexualization of children is a different topic. It is not the reason for rape. It's not justification for defilement.
100%.
It's not justification for rape. So when you want to have that conversation of how a person should be dressed, it's different. Do not bring it to the conversation of rape, of defilement. If there's nothing that justifies it. And sometimes when you find yourself maybe asking this kind of having this sort of conversation. I think what I want to say is men have this sort of conversations, and some of them come really from a place of ignorance. It's important that they understand what we're talking about, and when they discuss amongst themselves, they educate each other.
Thanks for bringing that clarity. Let me take this call from Joseph. Joseph, are you there? Joseph, you're live. Go ahead, please. Don't listen to the TV. Listen to me. I'll have to disconnect that call.
So Mariah, I'm happy because, and the reason we all jumped on Craig, and it's not personal, Craig. The point you made is because many people, we don't have enough information out there, and we think like we're in the information age, but a lot of people are not captured. They don't know these things. If any man finds himself attracted to a young child, that man needs to get medical help. And if anyone around, if a man around you is having a conversation about how a young girl's shape is, then you should begin to suspect that.
So I want us to differentiate based on what Mariam said. It's very important because there are issues of sexualization, which we'll address differently. But we don't want to mix it with this issue of pedophilia because they are two different things.
Very, very different.
The sickness, this is a disorder that an adult has on a child. So it's important that we make that clarity. Now, the other part is the ignorance. We'll not discuss the ignorance of families, the ignorance of even the children on this matter, because we are very trusting of adults.
As a society.
We're trusting of society. We're trusting of everybody such that. So how, just like you said, how do we raise them differently? We don't want our children to be disrespectful because we realize that of our culture, we want that. But at the same time, how can our children have the confidence to both say, Mommy, this man touched me in a certain way. I had that experience where my child told me, XYZ told me to sit on his lap. I tried to make it an issue, and then started apologizing, like, sorry, Yoko, I'm sorry, I felt that maybe she mistakenly, because the truth is that we don't want to wrongly accuse people when we feel like maybe what mothers get into that issue of, I don't want to come across that I'm being overzealous in this matter.
I don't care if I am being overzealous. I am a lioness. If you come for my children, I will show my teeth. Now, my job is to protect my children for as long as I can with all the tools that I have. And that is me giving them confidence. See, I don't care how you're going to feel tomorrow to say, they just accuse me and stuff like that. If it's wrong, well, this is what the child has said. I think children need to understand that their parents will always have their back. I always tell my children that no matter what it is, just tell me. You know your mommy, Abi, she's a lioness. She will bounce in there and deal with that person. So I personally give them that confidence. Their father gives them that confidence. I think I've shared it here when my daughter was still in primary school, and then she is big. She's very big for her age. If she doesn't tell you her age, you wouldn't know. And then the teacher says, come and sit on my lap. And she looked at the teacher and walked away. Said, come back here. She did not. Immediately, I go home. She said, Mommy, do you know what my teacher said I should do? I should come and sit on his lap. I took the matter because I'd already prepared their minds that if you see these little things, tell me. I had that experience. Another friend also was telling me that, why do you constantly dress her in trousers? I said, because I grew up in a very vicious environment where everybody wanted to take advantage, and the trousers and jeans, protected me. And she naturally likes it. Yes, she naturally likes it.
Let me take this call from Reverend Oladipo. He's been holding for a while. Reverend, are you there?
Yes, I'm here with you, Mariah.
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mariah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, all the friends. Yes. I'm a fan of your program.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
It's a wonderful opportunity for me to call. You see, on the issue you are discussing, I quite agree with all your views. And I want you to know that, like the proverbial K-legged man, they said the load on your head wobbles. He said you are looking up, you are not looking down. The perspective that we are not looking down to is how some of these people look at what they are doing. Some look at it from spiritual angle. They believe it has some ICT, religious-wise. Haven't you read the former governor of Kogi State who married a 13-year-old, 14-year-old girl? Have you not heard of it? You see, from the religious perspective, from the mindset perspective, we need to address the reality that all those who share that thought, they are misplaced. That you are having an affair with a little child can never bring any fortune to you. It can never bring any good luck to you. You are destroying a life. And it should be seen in that perspective. But some people have a real belief that it will bring them something. Some people believe at times that it cures hate. I've had it. They believe it's a cure for hate. And they keep looking for victims who do all these things too.
Fantastic.
So
Thank you.
It's very disturbing. And the earlier we address this from every angle, both the religious leaders, this is something we need to preach against in our churches, in our mosques, so that people can have right understanding.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you.
Reverend touched on some really deep areas because people use it for prosperity.
Rituals. You say that a young child hasn't sinned, so there's a purity to their life, and that intercourse with them will bring success to, and there's an ideology around it. So he's saying that we should deal with the reasons some people do these things. That some feel it cures AIDS, as in
the mentality. I want to go back to
a country that used to do that with babies specifically because they thought that it would cure them of AIDS.
I want to go back to what BC said because there are people, there are mothers like BC, lioness, but there are mothers like me that we don't come across as lioness. So it's important that we help mothers like me whose personality is not somewhat, I don't want to say aggressive. It's not somewhat assertive or aggressive. Because there are people like us that make that mistake. We want the best for our children. When that kind of situation happens, we try to find reason. Because maybe he didn't mean that way because you want peace. Maybe he didn't mean that way. Maybe you thought he wanted you to sit on his lap. Maybe he knew how to rationalize it. Not knowing that we're actually hurting the child because the child feels like, so mommy, I came to you, and then you begin to lose trust. So are we now saying that in that situation, every mother must be a lioness?
Like you, I'm not lioness. I will not fight.
Yes, we'll fight dirty. Yes.
I won't go and meet the person and make it.
So how do people like us solve that problem?
For me, I would say I would sit with my child. I would make my child understand that you've done well. Right. And you've done well, and I really appreciate. So my focus is, and I see it this way. It's like when they say your husband cheats and then you go and fight the babe outside. You don't have any issue with them. No, you have issue with your own child. That's number one. So first, I extol my child. I give my child the confidence necessary to continue to speak up concerning the issue.
Had happened?
Number one. Number two, I would report the situation.
To the police.
I would have a conversation with the person to understand. Do you understand what you are going to do? Like, when you're going to try to do this.
What if it had happened?
If he says that, no, but you know what I'm saying?
Different ways.
Where there are bloodlines, you're not sure.
You're not sure. Your child is saying the person touched me. And the man says, my hand just
Let me explain to you what I do.
I want different scenarios so that mothers with different temperaments know how to deal with it. That's what we're trying to achieve.
I think, let me just make busy. I think what we're saying is, there are some times that there are some people that the way they are raised, they play with children inappropriately, but for them, they don't realize. People that say to your child, my wife. People that will see your baby and pat on and then they hit the bomb. Do you understand? So things like that. So people like them, BC, would go straight at the person.
Please,
how dare you?
Don't play with my child like that.
Even though the person is coming across. So for me, so those who are very close to my house, they already know what the rules are. So when my child says, you try to put the hand on my lap or try to put me on my lap, and we come and meet me and my child, you are not upset because you already understand what the rules are, and you look to my child that you were trying, and you can then use the opportunity to explain to me and to that child. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I mistakenly touched. I'll be very careful next time. And that conversation has happened with people who are close to me. Therefore, people on the outside, no, please, we don't say that. Don't call my daughter your wife. She's not your wife. She's a little child. To the point that my child is able to come back to me and say, this person keeps calling me baby. Mommy, please speak to him. He keeps calling me baby. And
let me take this call. I've been holding for a while. Good morning. Are you there? Hello? Oh, did I lose the caller? Hello? You're live. Are you listening? I hope the person is there. Okay, let's take a few tweets since the person is there.
So me, you can go ahead with the tweets. Me, I start by screaming because I knew the sort of battles that I fought growing up as a child. And one of the things that saved me was my father was vicious and everybody feared him. And so because of that fear, they knew that there was a particular friend of his who would always come when he's not around and would want to touch me. And I told him, I said, I will tell my daddy, and you know my daddy will finish you. And that was when he stopped. And I didn't have to tell my dad. So I grew up in that, okay, this is my territory. These are my children. And please do not mess with them because you have. And I'm not going to say because you are related to us, I don't care about if he needs to scatter. If that piece needs to scatter, let it scatter. My children come first.
Okay, let me take Benga. Benga, are you there?
Yes,
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show, Benga.
Yeah, thank you for what I heard this morning you were discussing. See, as a matter of fact, anybody that defied a minor should be killed. I'm telling you the truth.
You say killed?
Anybody, I have a daughter who is just 14. I cannot imagine someone else. I heard that a man defied that my 14-year-old girl. I will kill the person. I will personally murder the person.
Wow.
It's on effort. Why should you? There are a lot of mature women who are even looking for someone to sleep with them. Why looking for younger ones? Thank you. Good morning.
Mr. Gwenga,
calm down. The killing
part is not legal. I understand the emotion of that. Totally, I hear you. Many men will probably say the same thing, but let us also abide by the rules.
It's painful. You don't understand.
I get you.
You don't understand the fatherhood. I think trying to bring up a child to be a responsible woman, leader in the future. And someone, you're a useless man, someone that you are saying the person is sick. The person is not supposed to be a human being if you don't know. Yes, it's supposed to go back to zoo or to go back to our ancestors.
Thank you, Benga. There are certain countries, I think they call it crime of passion. I think some no, I know. I'm just trying to say that there are some murder. So this one is different. So I'm saying that in this kind of situation, maybe they get a manslaughter or something. But you see, I understand where fathers get that passionately angry. But the truth is that it's always important we should report to the law and ensure that the law takes its course.
That after we report to the law and the law is taking its course, the family does not go behind to beg and then you say, for peace sake, and you take it out of, you settle out of court. Because this further empowers the perpetrators. They know that you will not want to take it far.
Let's take it this way.
I know able to come out. We need to set boundaries. I think that we need to set boundaries around our children, within our household, with domestic staff. Let them know this thing. Don't do this. This is not going to happen. If it happens, I'm going to deal with you like this. The driver knows. We don't have this conversation with our drivers as we should. You should let your driver know that there is something called pedophilia. I don't watch around my children. This is not. I'm not suspecting you, but I don't like it, and I've told my children to be like this. Also, you must have that conversation.
Do, right? Set boundaries. You're the driver?
Oh, yes. Set boundaries around your children. Some drivers don't know, so let the driver know. Let the driver know that he's also watching everybody. Let your house girl be watching the driver. Let everybody be watching each other. Set the boundary around your children.
In teaching boundaries as well, you need to teach the children boundary between themselves because that's where they will learn from. Do you understand? So it's not, they understand that this is my space. Even from my brother, even from my sister, they understand that this is my space and there are people. Yeah, no, I'm not talking of even gender. I'm just saying, even as they're boys, all boys, they must understand that this belongs to me. No one else, not even my brother or my sister, has the permission to, you know, to invade my
All right, let me take this call from David from Opik. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please, David.
Yes, I'd like to, I was trying to call yesterday, my first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
On that channel. On the topic you were discussing yesterday as regards, you know, having delays and giving birth and all that. But then again, let me move straight to this one we are discussing today. And I'd like to stand by the lady sitting next to Tope.
Oh, Biajulu, yes.
We lost that.
So we lost that call.
I think it's a lion as well.
It says, help has come. Says, a man told me he prayed not to have a female, to have female children and to train his boys well because he saw his father defile many minors and his female friends in their neighborhood while growing up. You know, there's something that we used to see, like children, older men dating, like in their 40s, 50s, dating 16-year-olds, relationship with 15, 16, 17-year-olds, and because we feel like because the 16, 17-year-olds are almost grown up, or you see a 50-something-year-old having a relationship with a 20-year-old, we should also flag those things because there are also things you should watch out for. And like the man said, that the Reverend said, some say I'm cleaning my blood out. Those statements, we should also take them out. So that we don't, when you say it, we are encouraging societally that if you can afford it, you can sleep with a younger person, and that way you are purifying your blood.
But there are cultures that permit child marriage. So if we are going to disturb people who are having relationship with 16, 17, what about people that marry 11, 12?
Let me take Oluwayemisi. Oluwayemisi, are you there?
If it is in marriage, really, but not defiling.
Hello, Oluwayemisi, are you there? I think our phone lines are having issues. Yes, BC, you have tweets for us, please.
Yes, Harold Osage says, at times we need to back up and observe from a different level of mind and understand that the moment you react, you are at the same level of consciousness that keeps you connected to the same reality. I think this is for the other message. Yes, mind over matter.
Okay. So now, I mean, we're going to be wrapping up very soon, and it's important that we leave some few nuggets for parents. And I think we've said it very clearly that parents must pay more attention. Yes. Seek help if you know somebody, because whether you like it or not, people around these pedophiles have an idea. Yeah. That this boy is doing this, or this man is doing this, or my husband is doing this, or there's my stepfather. Seek help. There are professionals helping people psychologically and psychiatrists helping people in this disorder now. Seek help, because the truth is that this leaves a scar that affects the child forever. And it can even affect her even when she gets married in future. So these are things that we must pay attention to. Also, another thing we've learned so far is how to ensure that parents, mothers, listen and empower our children to speak up.
Speak up, yeah.
It's important we empower our children to speak up at every point in time. And there are different temperaments. There's a busy temperament, there's a Tope temperament, there's a moral temperament. We're all different, but there are different ways of solving the same problem. Yes, you don't want to cause problem, we don't want to cause a bigger issue, but ensure that in anything we are doing, that child's empowered enough to speak up and know that continually he or she will be listened to in any situation. Let me take a few calls. I think we have one more call there. Dayo, are you there? From Ilorin.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please. You can increase the volume, please.
This is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
I really enjoy you guys' show. It's a very, very good show.
Thank you, sir.
And on the topic that you guys are talking about, it has a lot to do with men more than women. So men feel like when you are protecting your daughter, so many things you are overprotecting.
I like that.
If any mechanic or anybody walks in your household talking about, oh, your girl is grown, I can see the way she's working, that will be the last time you come in our house. Don't let nobody talk about your girl, even your boss. Nobody steal nobody's life. You need to be in jail or even say that. Not your daughter.
Well, you know, fathers have a really huge responsibility in this whole thing.
Yes, of course. May we talk a bit about the victim? So if, peradventure, you have someone, a child who has gone through this, it's very important that you do not leave that child in neglect. They need to find therapy for that child. This instance now where this child has been defiled for a number of years is going to take a very long-term therapy process to help this child even, get back to her normal. And the truth is she may never get back to her normal self, But this is the time where we should support family members, friends, and all should really support.
They need more love. They need more
support.
I was going to go there
because, yes, go ahead.
Yes. So there's something that happens very much in our own community in Nigeria where the victim is blamed. So the mother and the family members, please, I just want to put this out there, do not ever mention to that victim that you too, why did you? How did you? It's your fault. Do not ever do that. You need to support, as she said, love, and let her understand that that person that did it to you, that person is the bad person that did it to you. And then secondly, I wanted to also add that some people would notice that their children have these pedophilic tendencies from when they're teenagers and they're growing up. That's the time also that you should find a way to take your child to get proper help. We don't want them growing up into adults, they're abusing other people's children or abusing their children as well. And then we're talking about a pandemic. So please, pay attention to both those who are likely to be victims and those who are likely to be perpetrators.
There's another part of the puzzle that we've not talked about. Yes?
There's a spiritual part and there's a physical, psychological therapy part. Many times when people are victims and they survive this thing, we focus on the spiritual, pray for them, but some of these pastors are not equipped enough to give them the emotional therapy process.
It's not their job.
So when they finish doing the spiritual, going to meet pastor, they should also take them to see a medical doctor that is a psychologist that will help them through the healing process as well.
Sometimes it's not deliverance that you need. You need help. And there's another part of this puzzle that we've not talked about, like the need for a father's love. You see, when a girl child has that father's love so much where it's part of her DNA, there's nothing any man out there wants. Is it sweet? Is it conversation?
They don't want.
They have this confidence that comes over them. That experts have said that, listen, the father's love is such that a girl gives a girl child confidence that they can even speak to anybody and tell them confidently that you're not allowed to talk to them.
That is good, right? But imagine how bad it will be when that person is now the perpetrator.
But
that's why for those sort of people, it's usually very hard for them to speak up. Because not only is your father has betrayed your trust, your mother also is found in a position where it's either she does not believe you or this is the end of everything. The story you gave us about the mother who felt, this child, you've destroyed everything.
Let me take this call before I come to UBC. Hello, good morning, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you for your program.
Thank you, sir.
Happy such a program is on. You see, those men being such things, I don't have anything to qualify them that you see they are mad. They are mad men. How can you on earth, a young girl,
I don't know. Like the other caller said that he will kill. No, you don't have to kill such a man. Just cut his leg, cut one of his leg, and then hand him over to the police.
It's painful.
It's sad that we are facing all this. People are talking of how to eat, how to find jobs. Some a man will go and decide the care of 40. This is sad in this country. Sad.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know. I have a teenage daughter, man. Like the other caller said.
Don't even dare.
My daughter, very important to me.
Thank you, Mr. Bakare.
I know that there are some women that do this.
That father's love was what helped me. Because I know that there's this adage they say, Obu mana he kweke bulu magayas. My father was a bad guy. So he could tell from a distance if your eyes are not clean towards me. He's the only girl. So he had no other job than to protect me. So once he notices, if as much as you do like this, you will stop passing that compound. He will beat you up. He was vicious. So that father's love that I had gave me confidence.
Yes.
And so when all those men, the elderly men kept, finding ways to do something, I knew that if I mentioned it to my father, I had his backing to put their house on fire. Right. So it sort of gave me confidence. And I'm working towards it every day to ensure that I give, especially my husband, giving the daughters, we have to, that sort of confidence, know that your father can do anything for you. So that you have that confidence to speak up when anything happens.
Even you know. So we have to wrap up, but I think that I'd like to end up with a few tweets. I'm sure our viewers have been trying to
but also
one or two things.
Mentioning men a lot. Women have been found to do things like that.
Yeah, I said it earlier that there was a woman that actually, she was defiling her own child because the child was sleeping on her bed. She was a single mother. There was no father figure in the house. But just her and this boy.
The other maids as well. Maids that do that as well.
The middle class.
That is so true.
Many men, such
children,
the boys, and many men will tell you they lost their virginity to the housemates and the uncle and the aunties at home. So we also need to protect. That's a topic for a different day. I think we need to talk about this one where our helps are defining our sons, 2-year-old, 3-year-old,
and daughters, sisters.
Hey, Father Almighty, wow,
be vigilant.
Be vigilant. So be a suspicious woman. It's better to be a suspicious woman than to be a woman who trusts in everything.
At least when it comes to your children.
Okay, that's all we have to go. Go ahead.
No, I don't have
okay. That's all we can take on the show today. I hope you've learned a few things. These those kind of shows that sometimes we need a psychologist, psychiatrist, but we'll bring them for the boys. Important for us to first of all spell out the issues. Let Nigerians know that this is happening, so that they can begin to pay attention in their own various homes.
That's the word. Pay attention.
All right. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.